What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, it's that time. I'm going to rank the top 10 movies of 2024. Just so everybody knows, my list is not the perfect list. Your list is going to look very different from mine. These are the top 10 movies in 2024 that impacted me, that I enjoyed. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is Wicked. I was not the target audience for Wicked at all. Never read the book, never saw the stage play, didn't really know any of the songs. I was familiar, like I knew Popular existed, but I wasn't familiar with this show or with this story at all. So I went in very blind, and I was enchanted by it. I was enchanted by the music, by the set, by the story. It was a little long. That's my biggest critique of it. You know, the stage play was a 3-hour play, and this movie was just the first act of the stage play, and it was almost 3 hours. So you can't tell me that there wasn't fat to cut here, because there was. But overall, this was a huge surprise. How much I enjoyed it, how much I loved the performances of Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. Enchanted is the right word. I walked out humming the music, and I couldn't wait for part 2. So for me, Wicked is my number 10. All right, number 9. Number 9 is a little bit of a cheat because it's not a full-length feature film. It's a very short film that came out on YouTube a couple months ago. And that is the Star Trek short film Unification. This did something in less than 10 minutes that Paramount Plus has been unable to do in the last decade, and that is make me feel something for Star Trek. Star Trek is one of the most important franchises to me. It's one of the most important franchises to my fandom, and this made me feel. This made me feel sadness. It inspired me. It made me feel like there's still great stories to be told in Star Trek. Bringing back William Shatner as Kirk and the likeness of Leonard Nimoy as Spock. I mean, I don't think it's hyperbole to say that as a Star Trek fan, this was magic. It was just peak Trek in less than 10 minutes. And Paramount Plus, I hope you took notes because this was great. All right. Number 8 is a documentary. Am I Racist? I don't agree with everything that Matt Walsh says and does. We've got to get that out of the way. But I thought this was a hilarious documentary. I thought the way that he pushed the envelope and you know, really exposed a lot of the hypocrisies of the modern DEI movement. I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious. And strictly from a entertainment point of view, this was one of the most entertaining experiences I had in the theater all year long. Again, I definitely don't agree with everything that he says and does, but and I can't say that I agree with everything in this movie, but I was extremely entertained by it, and it was one of the funniest movies of the year. I laughed consistently throughout this film. All right, number 7 is Bad Boys Ride or Die. This is a franchise that I think has just been getting better. I thought part 1 was a decent 90s action film. Part 2 maybe not quite as good as part 1. And then part 3 was the best of the franchise by far. Huge jump. And then I liked part 4 better than I liked part 3. So Bad Boys Ride or Die was a very fun action film. Very funny. Love seeing Will Smith and Martin Lawrence banter. And it was a really fun experience in the theaters. Number 6. A film that might not be on anybody's top 10 list, except for mine. And that's The Best Christmas Pageant Ever. This movie is one of those movies that made me feel something. It was nostalgic without being something that I've ever experienced or without telling a story about a place I've ever been. and it really captured the essence of the Christian Christmas story, especially at the end. Christmas and Christ is something that's for everybody, and I thought that this film did a great job at capturing that. Really switching gears now to number five, complete turnaround, and that is Kill. Um, that's my fifth favorite movie of the year. Die Hard on a Train. I mean, it was a much better version of Under Siege 2. The raw, violent fights that this guy had to stop the bad guys on this train was riveting, horrifying, hard to watch, but fun to watch. This film was exciting, violent, and there was genuine moments of heartbreak in this. This movie made me feel a lot of emotion, and one of the biggest emotions was just amping me up. So Kill was one of my big surprise films of the year. I really, really, really enjoyed it. All right. Number four, another one that I don't think is going to be on anybody's top 10 list, and that's Horizon: An American Saga Chapter 1. I love the ambition that Kevin Costner shows in this film. And it's sad that we'll probably never get to see all of it because this movie flopped. But as someone who's a huge fan of American history, I majored in American history. I have a bachelor's degree in history. As someone who's a huge fan of American history, it's very rare that I've seen a Western that captures the essence of the pioneer age quite as well as this one did. So this is a film that's so high, uniquely based on my personal interest. And I thought that Kevin Costner did an amazing job of capturing frontier life. So it's number four. Number three is Alien Romulus. This film surprised me in all the best ways. I kind of went into it cynical. Like, why do we need another Alien movie? I'm a huge fan of Alien and Aliens. I'm an Alien 3 apologist. I really am. And then everything after that has been just bottom of the barrel. Even Prometheus and Covenant, like, they were steps up, but not much. But then Romulus comes along, and Romulus catches that sense of terror, that sense of claustrophobia, the sense of, fear that the xenomorph brings, the sense of fear that was lost in a lot of these other movies. That fear is back, where even in Prometheus and Covenant, they tried to bring the fear back, but it was more body horror than it was the creatures, where the creatures are back. And I thought it was great. I thought this was a great. I even liked the Ash cameo. I did. I'm sorry, extended cameo. And I know it wasn't Ash, but the Ian Holm extended cameo. Loved it. Loved it. I thought it made perfect sense for the story. So Alien Romulus is my number three. Number two is Dune Part 2. I wasn't the biggest fan of Dune Part 1. I just wasn't. I thought it was a little boring. And I kind of went into Dune Part 2 expecting this one to be kind of boring also. And boy, was I wrong. And this is one of those movies that makes the previous movie better. Dune 2 makes Dune 1 better because you see all the setup that they were doing in Dune 1. You see all that setup get paid off in Dune 2. I was enthralled by it. I thought it was a great adventure story, a great revolution story. And the special effects were top tier, and the acting was great. This was peak cinema for 2024, Dune 2. And it was probably objectively the better movie than my number one. But my number one film is the most fun that I had in the theater all year, and that's Deadpool and Wolverine. It was just the most fun I had in the theater this year. I had a blast with it. I thought it was hilarious. I thought that it was reverential to the Fox universe and even to some degree other universes. And I thought that it did a good job of expanding the MCU multiverse saga while still telling a very contained story. Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, love seeing their banter with each other, love seeing their fights with each other. The cameos were great. And this was just the most fun that I had in the theater all year long. Great soundtrack. I mean, this was just Again, the most fun I had in the theater all year long, and it's my favorite movie of the year. So that is my top 10 movies of the year. What would you rank higher? What would you rank lower? What do you think I left off the list? Let me know in the comments down below. While you're down there commenting, make sure you subscribe to my channel. And until next time, we'll see you guys later.